Welcome to my Facebook Live to show you how I created this card. It's made with the Accented Blooms stamp set, and it coordinates with the tailored tag punch that we had in the Occasions catalog that was in the masculine suite. And now you can make beautiful thank you or hello cards with it. I love coloring, and tonight we're going to use some of the blends. One of my favorite things about making cards is using white on white on white with just a pop of color. So this one uses the Pool Party Stampin' Blends, the old Olive Stampin' Blends Pool Party ink. Now I haven't colored all of the flowers, I just colored part of them just to accent them. And then I put Wink of Stella right in the center, and I'll see if I can get it to show up on the camera for you. Can you see that? And these are the new glitter dots. Oh my good Lord. Talk about luscious colors. Look at them. Let me get it on something that's just white so you can see what they look like. Look at this. Look at those colors. I love them. So let's carry on and get cracking and make the card. So this is the address to my blog. I post weekdays. I don't post on the weekends, but I do Monday to Friday. Mondays I share videos. And I'd sure appreciate it if you could do when you do your online order, if you'd use my current host code. This is what it is today till the end of the month. And then you can find my current host code on my blog up on the top right hand corner in a colorful rectangle up there. I change it every once in a while. Okay, so this card uses, let's get the recipe here for you, uses Thick Whisper White cardstock. So I made a base out of Thick Whisper White. I just cut a sheet in half and scored it in half so it becomes 5.5 by 4.25. And then a piece of Whisper White to do the embossing with. And I use the Tufted Embossing Folder. Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? And I've already done that part so I can show you what it looks like. This is one of the dynamic embossing folders, so you only need one clear plate. It's really thick, but boy does it do a nice job of putting embossing on that cardstock. Look at that. Now I haven't done it yet, but I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to put some color on this embossing folder and see what happens, but I haven't got there yet because I haven't had time. So I'm just checking to make sure that my video is coming through in the right orientation, because sometimes I have issues with that. Okay, so that's 5.25 by 4, and then I've embossed it with the Tufted Embossing Folder. And then I have a piece of Whisper White that is 3.25 by 3.25, and that's what I'm going to do my stamping on. And then I have a scrap of Whisper White as well. And if you don't have a scrap, you can use a piece that's 2 inches by 2 3/4 inches, and that's what I'm going to put the sentiment on. So I'll just leave this over here. Let me see if it's in frame so you can watch while I'm doing it. And I'll leave this here so you can see it, just in case you want to write it down. I'm using Memento ink and Pool Party, and the blends that I'm going to use are the Light and the Dark Pool Party and the Light and the Dark Old Olive. Then Wink of Stella Clear and Glitter Pen. Okay, I'm going to put some snail on my embossed piece and get it on the card base. I've been having so much fun with this, with product from the new catalog. I don't want to leave my craft room. I just want to stay in here day and night. Oops. But tomorrow I have to leave my craft room for a short period of time because we're having our grandchildren overnight. Every year at the end of school, I take the kids out for a grandma-only lunch, and we go separately. So I take the oldest one first, and then the middle one, and the our grandson that lives in northern BC, he's coming down in a couple of weeks. So I'm hoping I'm going to be able to sneak him away from Mommy and Daddy and take him out for lunch too. Last year I couldn't do it because we were on our Thailand trip at this time. Okay, so I'm going to stamp the floral image from Accented Blooms in Memento. And I got out the wrong one. I got Stays On out instead of Memento. So now I got Memento. And you can't use Stays On when you're using the Stampin' Blends because they're both alcohol based, and the Stampin' Blends will cause the Stays On to run. So you have to use Memento ink. I'm just centering it in there and rubbing gently to transfer the ink onto the cardstock. I love how they took this piece out of the center here. Lots of times you get a stamp that has a big area there that has nothing on it, and it transfers. Oh! Well, there we go. Let's do that again. You're seeing it real in my craft room. I guess I was busy talking and didn't pay attention to the fact that I was moving the stamp around. So I'm going to pay attention now. So I was saying I like how they've cut this piece out so that you don't have to worry about getting ink in there. That's not the best stamped image, but that's okay. So I'm going to do some coloring, and this is the light one, and I'm just going to color the top of these. I think these are zinnias. It's either that or it's a type of dahlia, because there is a dahlia that kind of looks like a zinnia too. And then I'm just going to do some the centers of the flowers. Let's go around and just use where the lines are as your guide. When I color, I prefer not to color in solidly because I feel that I like the look of white showing on my flowers. But these ones are, I'm only doing around the center, so there's lots of white showing. So I'm using the light Pool Party. And then I'm going to do the centers in dark. And just a little bit around here. And if you go over the center, it's not a big deal because you're going to be putting the same color but a darker hue on, and you'll never be able to tell. Okay, and when you put your blends together, put them down on the table and get them lined up, and then give them a good push. Okay, we'll do the wrong end. I prefer to use the end with the thin line. I just find I get better control with the color. If I use the other one, I end up with bleeding. There we are. So that didn't take too long. And there we're done. Now I'm going to take the light old olive and do the leaves. And just a quick coloring job. Not too long. And once again, I'm kind of okay if there's some white left in there. And now I am going to use that tip with the big line just to do the stems. And you got to go really lightly. You're not really touching the paper too much because I don't want them to be too big. And there. Then take Winkostella and do a little bit of blinging, because it's always all about the bling. And just the center of the flowers. Now if you wanted to, you could color these and blend them and carry on, but that's not the look that I'm going for today. So I'm going to put some dimensionals on here now. These mini dimensionals, oh how fun are they? I love them, as you can tell, because I'm using quite a few of them. Probably getting a little carried away, but oh well. Alright, so I'll bring back in my card base that I've got the embossed piece on, and take these off, the liners. Just going to pop them in the garbage here so they're not all over the place. Come on, off. Just make sure they're all off. And it just lines up down there in the corner like that. Now we're going to stamp the thank you. Well, I've done thank you. Maybe we'll do hello, just so you can see what the difference is. The new ink formulation, there's no bubbles in it, but I haven't got all my refills yet, so on my new ink pads, so I have to put up with bubbles for tonight. And I'm just running my finger over again just to transfer the ink. And I don't want to push too hard, because if you push hard then you're going to end up filling in the words. Close this. Because I'm clumsy and things happen and I end up with ink everywhere. Now I'm just lining this up in the punch. And I've discovered that paying attention to where the punch comes up will help you with this issue. See, I've got it a little bit more on this side than I do on that side. So this time I've kind of paid attention to where the punch, and it comes up more on the top than on the bottom. So what I do is I line it up and then I move it up a little bit so that when it punches it comes out a little bit more even. I hope that makes sense. And a couple of dimensionals on there too. Okay, 4 of them. Just because I can. And put those in the garbage and get them out of the way. I'm a fanatic with my stamping room. When I make a card, I have to clean up completely before I start the next one, because then I never can find anything. There we are. Fits right in that little hole just perfectly. The only thing left to add are the glimmer dots. And you can use blue or green. I think I'll use some of the green ones tonight to make this card a little different. And let's use a big one. size one. And the next size. There. So there it is with the blue glimmer dots, and here it is with the green glimmer dots. So, insides, because I never have a naked card. It always has an inside piece and a matching envelope. So this stamp is also in this set. You get 3 stamps that you can use for inside. Let's change it up a bit. And we'll use the one with the flower on it. And get the pool party out again. Get things organized here so I can make sure my envelope's the right way up. And just run a row of these cute little flowers up the side of your envelope. And the card is oriented this way. So we'll just do the same thing up the side here. There we are. Now, I'm going to run around the edge of this. I didn't do it on this card, but I'm going to show you on this one. And I tried using the Stampin' Blends for this, but because they're formulated to penetrate the cardstock, I didn't like the effect. You very well might, but I didn't. So I use my regular Stampin' Right marker because I like the subtleness of just having a little tiny edge around like that. There we go. Pop some, find my snail, it's open. Pop some snail on there. Find the card. Line it up. Here we are. One more thing to do. Put my stamp on the back so that it has my name and the copyright sign on there for Stampin' Up. I'm not going to be selling this one. This one's actually going out to a customer, but you never know when somebody's going to say, hey, where did you get that beautiful card? And people can turn it over and say, oh, look. Then they can search me on the internet and hopefully decide they want to come and make a card. So there's that real subtle strip of blue around the outside. Just adds a little bit of panache to it. So there we go. What do you think? Pretty cool, eh? Now, let me show you in our catalog. This is my catalog. These are things that have inspired me, and I have to create them. But I have, I had mine coil bound, and I put a plastic cover on mine. And then I put tabs down the side so it's easy to find. So these are the embellishment. This is the embellishment page, 197. And here's the new glitter enamel dots. We had them last time, but they were in soft colors. And these ones are nice, bright, happy colors. So it comes in Coastal Cabana, which is this, Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green, and Melon Mambo. And then they have a greenish blue shimmer to them. Even the purple ones have a shimmer to them. Now, where did I put that card? Oh, here it is. I made this card today using the delightfully detailed laser cut specialty paper, and I put some of the, I used Gorgeous Grape cardstock. I put some of the Gorgeous Grape glitter dots on there. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That little bit of bling. I'm telling you, it just makes all the difference. Have you seen this paper? Oh my. Oh my, oh my, oh my. I've been making a few cards with it, and I'm going to be posting them on my blog. Now let's find accented blooms. Did you know there's a stamp index in the back of our catalog? There's 3 indexes. There's a stamp index, a greeting index, and an accessory index. So the stamp index has all of the stamps alphabetical and what pages. You don't even have to go to the page because it has the numbers and the prices right there. And then there's a greeting index. And this has I don't know whether it's all of the stamp sets that have words in them, but it's quite a few. And you can just, instead of going through the whole catalog, just kind of look and see what kind of sentiment you might want to use. And look at that. Look at all the pages of them. And then there's an accessory index. If you're looking for, say, the Stampin' Spritzers, the blends, the Stamparatus. Oh, Stamparatus. Yes, really cool. Okay, accented blooms. That's the one we just used. It's on page 19, so let's just pop on over to page 19 so I can show it to you. So here's accented blooms. So if you order accented blooms, a package of Whisper White cardstock. Now we have a new section in our catalog in the papers. It's the basics, so it's white, vanilla, and black. So if you order accented blooms stamp set, either wood or clear mount, a package of Whisper White cardstock, and some glitter enamel dots from page 197, I will send you one of these card kits, and you can create this card all by yourself. I will send you the sizes, the recipe for it, plus I'll send you a kit. So you'll have all of the pieces and you can stamp it and create it yourself. glendamullet.blogspot.com is my blog. glendamullet.stampinup.net is my online store. I should have written that out for you. Let me get a piece of paper and a marker. So it's Glenda Mullet dot Stampin' Up dot net, and you go to that and click on Shop Now. It'll take you to my online store. You can go to my blog to get the current host code. You can go to stampinup.net to go to my Shop Now and go to my online store. Place your order for accented blooms, Whisper White cardstock, some enamel dots, and you might even want to throw in the Tufted Embossing Folder so that you can make this gorgeous card yourself. And I will send you the kit and the measurements to make it yourself. So I hope you had a good time watching me create this card, and maybe you're one of the lucky people that will get this handcrafted thank you card in the mail this week for placing an order with me. Thanks so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Stamping blessings. Bye-bye.